YouTube. What's happening? It's Nocturnal. Make this little video real quick before the sun go down. Anthony Joshua cannot beat Deontay Wilder. Here's why. Now, I know already a lot of you people are gonna think that I'm just basing what I'm saying strictly off of the fight that happened last night. Simply because Anthony Joshua took 6 rounds, 6 or 7 rounds to put away Dominic Brazil and Deontay Wilder put him away in 2 minutes. And y'all saying, oh man, that don't prove nothing just because Deontay Wilder knocked out Dominic Brazil in 2 minutes and it took Anthony Joshua 6 rounds. Styles make fights. Anthony Joshua is a slow starter. He's more technical. He fights defensively. Things of that nature. I can hear it now. That's what people are going to say. Look, I'm not basing what I'm saying based off of one fight. I'm not, man. I'm looking at it from a casual boxing fan, but a common sense point of view. Common sense point of view. If Anthony if Anthony Joshua fought Dominic Brazil 100 times, I guarantee you he would not be able to knock him out in 2 minutes. Guaranteed. If Deontay Wilder fought Dominic Brazil 100 times, I guarantee Dominic Brazil never makes it out the fourth round out of 100 fights. Period. Now, right now, that's the only fight they have in common. The only fighter they have in common. But I'm not going to just base it off of the fact that that's the fighter that they have in common. I'm going to look at the Luis Ortiz fight. I'm going to look at the Tyson Fury fight. I'm going to look at the Vladimir Klitschko fight. Look at Anthony Joshua fighting Vladimir Klitschko. And tell me that Anthony Joshua is rock solid. Because most people base their entire point of view, their entire prediction, they give all the credit mostly given to Anthony Joshua is solely based off of the fact that he fought Vladimir Klitschko. Because up until that point, he really didn't fight nobody. Everybody want to act like Deontay Wilder is fighting a bunch of tomato cans and Anthony Joshua is fighting all of these elite athletes. I beg to differ. Besides Vladimir Klitschko, and if you look at that fight, didn't Vladimir Klitschko rally back up and come back up and put Anthony Joshua down? Didn't he have him hurt a couple of times in that fight? Wasn't Anthony Joshua stamina questioned? Wasn't his gas tank almost on E in that fight? And what was Vladimir Klitschko in that fight? Almost 40, 41 years old. And we're not talking about like a Mayweather 40 years old where you preserved yourself. We're talking about a heavyweight 40 years old. You know how hard it is to be in your 40s and maintain that type of a size and conditioning versus being 140 pounds? I'm almost 40 years old. I'm closer to 40 years old, you know, than I am to I'm I'll be 40 years old so quickly and so soon. If I myself personally went heads up with a kid half my age in his 20s, and I get and he, you know what I'm saying, at the end of the day he wins the fight, but I gave him a run for his money. I'm gonna tell you what, common sense is saying in my prime I would have ate him up for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and then I would have had a bowel movement with him. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if I fought a dude that was 20 years my youth, and I gave him a run for his money and put him down in my 40s, I already know in my 20s, in my prime, it would have been easy work. So answer that question. Wasn't Anthony Joshua down in that fight, gassed in that fight, almost lost that fight? Okay, because I know a lot of people, they just going to some people just gonna hate just for the sake of hating. I'm gonna tell you what, I don't have no reason to hate Anthony Joshua. I don't have no reason to hate Deontay Wilder. I just look at it the way it is. I call a spade a spade. Anthony Joshua to me seemed like he a stand up guy and he a good fighter. But he seemed like he a fighter that's created in a lab. He almost seemed like a paperweight champion. Not paperweight, but yeah, whatever you want to call it. He seemed like his whole a paperweight. He like a paper, he's the ideal perfect, you know, boxer. He's like a boxing wet dream. He come with a total package of everything, like he's made in the lab. He's handsome. You know what I'm saying? Charming and just clean cut, well spoken. And he has power, legitimate power. But he seems like to me he's robotic. He's very robotic. He's very stiff, and he's made in the lab. Which some things are made in the lab. Some things come out of the lab great. But if you're talking about a natural, homegrown, straight out the earth, genetic, no GMO. When you're talking about no GMO, homegrown, old school, Mandingo power, you're talking about Deontay Wilder and those of his type of breed. You're talking about two different species. Now, what I would like to see, since they only have one fighter in common, I would like to see Luis Ortiz go against Anthony Joshua. I think that'd be a great fight. And I honestly think Luis Ortiz, I don't know, now he's getting older and everything, but I think Luis Ortiz will give Anthony Joshua a run for his money. Honestly, I think Luis Ortiz would see the thing about it. If Luis Ortiz fought Anthony Joshua and won that fight, then nobody's going to be talking about Deontay Wilder versus Anthony Joshua anymore. Then they'll be asking for Luis Ortiz versus Deontay Wilder Part Two. See, people are just so fecal. They just so fecal. You know what I'm saying? They just jump from ship to ship to ship like it ain't nothing. Like nobody ain't got to prove nothing to you. Like nobody ain't got to prove nothing to me. You know what I'm saying? Let these men they be just do their career thing. Everybody always act like somebody got to prove something to them. Like Anthony Joshua ain't got to prove nothing to you, and neither does Deontay Wilder. They don't owe y'all nothing. They don't owe us anything. These fighters don't owe us anything. That's why I can just look at it unbiasedly. It is what it is. Anthony Joshua is a great technical fighter, but he's not that impressive. He looks good. He's built up good, but he's over muscle bound and he's stiff and he doesn't have great head movement. He's just a good boxer in for what he does. But Deontay Wilder is something totally different, and he's not a technical. But like when Deontay Wilder fought Tyson Fury, Let's get on that. Let's speak on that for a second, because everybody acts like Tyson Fury just gave Deontay Wilder the business, like he just went fist to cuffs and just beat Deontay Wilder down to just beat him out of his drawers. Everybody acts like Tyson Fury exposed Deontay Wilder. After that fight, you go on YouTube and everything and social media, and all you see was Deontay Wilder exposed. Deontay Wilder exposed by Tyson Fury. Exposed him for what? How you expose something that's already plain to see? Deontay Wilder fights wild. He's not a boxer, but he's not a technical boxer. All he does is throw the right hand. Tyson Fury exposed him. How? How? Exposed what? Exposed that if he hit you with the right hand, you're gonna go down twice in the fight and be lucky to get back up. I mean, what did he expose? After that fight, Deontay Wilder said, "Look, man, this is the biggest performance of my life. I'm fighting in front of all these people, all these celebrities and famous people coming to see me, and I got a little bit off of my game plan. You know, I had to go back to the basics after this fight, but I came a little bit out of character and sorts as far as I know that I couldn't. I know what I had to do. I seen what I had to do, but something about how ahead of myself I was, I couldn't execute exactly what I needed and wanted to do. He wasn't there. He wasn't elusive as people say he is. He's slippery. He's a great boxer. He's tall and lanky and everything, and he keeps you at the end of his jab. But mainly, I was the cause for that fight to come out a draw the way it did. I give all he said. This is what he said. I give all the credit to Tyson Fury, but and I don't know how he got up in that 12th round. Only God knows how he got up in that 12th round. But you know what? I was off that night. I was off my game plan. I was swinging and I couldn't really control. I was just it just was too much. I was overwhelmed by what was supposed to be the greatest night for me. How is that not legitimate? How is that not a legitimate situation where I came in there? This guy is tall, big, lanky. He's awkward, unorthodox, and you know, like they say, styles make boxing. His style is herky jerky, and I came in there swinging wild. I couldn't compose myself, and it was a few times where he was doing his thing and outboxing me, but a lot of the time I'm not getting credit for the work I was putting in simply because I didn't knock him out. Now everybody wants to say I lost that fight. How? How was that fight not a draw, or how was that fight not a Deontay Wilder W when Tyson Fury, first of all, he won't take a rematch. Second of all, he was you want to be if you want to be controversial or whatever you want to call it, but he was knocked out in the 12th round and the count was off. But he was knocked down in the ninth round and he was knocked down in the 12th round. You cannot act like for the other 10 rounds he just didn't get touched at all. He got touched. He got touched. Nobody was landing really effective blows. His jabs were decent and they kept Deontay Wilder at bay, but he wasn't destroying Deontay Wilder with not one punch. He had him. He stumbled him a little bit with a stiff jab, but other than that, that fight was a lot of non-action, a lot of placating to the audience with Tyson Fury kind of throwing his hands up to the audience and sticking his tongue out. But he got dropped in the ninth round, and he got completely dropped in the 12th round. So what are y'all talking about that he just gave Deontay Wilder the business? Y'all just, I mean, at the end of the day, man, it's just natural. Y'all just naturally born haters. Now, let's see Tyson Fury fight Klitschko and see. Let's see Tyson Fury fight Anthony Joshua because ain't nobody even asking for that fight. I wonder why. You get Tyson Fury fighting Anthony Joshua. Tyson Fury win that fight. Nobody's going to be talking about the Anthony Joshua versus Deontay Wilder anymore. I would say, be all honest, If Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua fought, it'd probably be a very boring fight, and it probably will go the distance. And I doubt you see anybody on the canvas in that fight. To be honest, you can agree or disagree. I don't even care at this point. Because if you're gonna be a hater, you're gonna be a hater. Anthony Joshua is a good fighter, but I don't think he's as good as he's a better fighter, boxing wise. As far as boxing, Anthony Joshua is definitely a better boxer than Deontay Wilder. If anybody with eyes can see that. But Deontay Wilder is something different. He is something different, and he he has what some people he just has something that you just this guy a God given talent that you're not gonna get out of a lab. You're not gonna get really even out of training, out of you can take whatever vitamins you want to take, you can take whatever supplements you want to take. What Deontay Wilder has is just a God given genetic strength. And Anthony Joshua will have to get hit in that fight. And if he get hit, he's gonna go down. He hasn't shown me anything to see to show me that he can take Deontay Wilder's power. And that's honestly, I think he is genuinely to a certain extent, he's afraid of that. He's afraid that if he fights Deontay Wilder, he's going to have to take a hit to land a hit, and he's not going to be able to take that power based off based off, say for example, what he was able to do with Klitschko, and that's another thing. Like I'm saying, what he was able to do with Klitschko, I think Deontay Wilder would do with Klitschko if they ever would have had it, if they would have fought now, because Klitschko is he's not. But if Deontay Wilder fought Klitschko right now, Deontay Wilder most likely would probably be able to take him out in six rounds. But look, that's neither here nor there. I'm just tired of the haters, man. I'm just tired of people hating. Like I'm tired of okay, you see Deontay Wilder go out there and knock this man out in 2 minutes, in 2 minutes, and now all of a sudden, all I hear now is people talking about do it. You can't do that to Dylan White. Dylan White, okay, all of a sudden Dylan White is so special. He's legit. He's a legit fighter, and I would like to see that fight, to be honest. But why are you calling for Dylan White, and why are you saying, oh, now Deontay Wilder is just finding any excuse? He's fighting Brazil, and he's finding any excuse to duck and dodge Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua is going to fight Ruiz. Come on, man. And what's going to happen if let's see? This is what I want. Let's see what Anthony Joshua does with Andy Ruiz. Let's see how that fight goes. Because in my opinion, that's the easy fight, and he should win that fight hands down. But he ain't finna knock him out in the first round. I see that fight going at least 6 rounds, 6, 7 rounds. So based off of just they fighting styles, based off that, to me, Anthony Joshua, he has a he has a good, legit, decent chin, but his chin is not. Even if Anthony Joshua's Superman, Deontay Wilder's right hand is just kryptonite. You know what I'm saying? As technical as Anthony Joshua is, as well put together of a fighter he is, I still don't see him having um he doesn't even have the movement that he would. He's too stiff, and he has no head movement, and I just don't see him being able to take that punch. So I don't see him winning that fight. Not right here, not right now. The way I see Anthony Joshua winning that fight is time, because Anthony Joshua, I think he's preserving his body more. So if they fight If they do a Mayweather Pacquiao and 5 years pass, I see Deontay Wilder body betraying him faster than Anthony Joshua's body's going to betray him. So in 5 years, Deontay Wilder might be a totally different fighter, like kind of like a Roy Jones Jr. Like Roy Jones Jr. was not the best boxer at all. Everything he did wrong, but nobody could beat him because he was just so blessed and talented. But as soon as he got too old to where that special ability eluded him, it just faded. Then he started getting knocked out left and right because he relied too much on just um, he relied on that talent more than he relied on true boxing skills. And Roy Jones was the man back in the day, but time beat Roy Jones. Roy Jones didn't. No real boxer, not even Tarver, not Antonio Tarver, really beat uh, Roy Jones. Time beat Roy Jones, and that's the same thing with Deontay Wilder. No boxer, I don't think, is going to beat Deontay Wilder. Time is going to beat Deontay Wilder because his style is not a it's a sprint. It's not a marathon type of a style. His style is not going to last him forever. He's going to lose something. He's going to lose a little bit of that power over time. He still have type power that knocked most people out, but he's going to lose that ability over time. And I mean, it's going to be some time. If you look at what he did last night, I'm still talking about some years still. So if they try to prolong this fight 2 years, 2021, 2022, and he didn't had 3 or 4 fights, then Anthony Joshua was going to beat Deontay Wilder. But if they fought today, this is what I'm saying. If they fought today, if they fought yesterday, if yesterday was in the future and that was the big card everybody wanted to see, Anthony Joshua versus Deontay Wilder. If they fought yesterday, I guarantee you right now, everybody would be on social media talking about Anthony Joshua got beat last night by Deontay Wilder. Period. One last thing I'm gonna leave y'all with, because I know y'all sick of me by now, because y'all automatically so many people say, "Oh, you a hater, you a hater." Whatever. I don't hate on Anthony Joshua. I don't hate on Deontay Wilder. I don't hate on fighters. Period. I just call it how I see it. I think Anthony Joshua is swell. I think he's a swell guy, but I don't think he's going to be able to take a right hand punch from Deontay Wilder. Just don't. And I don't see that this what's his name, Tony Harrison. I don't think he's going to beat Charlo, to be honest, because it blows my mind. We got so many people talking about how Tony Harrison just completely outboxed Charlo. He just, what I'm saying, and Charlo was crying like a little baby, and this rematch you're going to see. Now, some people what I'm saying, I vibe with. They give Tony Harrison a fight because they say he's a better boxer. I agree with that. I give you that because that might happen. But I hate when I look on here and I see all these people acting like Tony Harrison just dominated that fight. There was no domination in that fight. That fight could have went either way. And I'm telling you, if Charlo come back the right way, he gonna knock that kid down or knock him out. And then I'm gonna get on YouTube and he gonna see all these. We gonna hear nothing but crickets and people hating, talking about, well, he don't want to fight Canelo. What? What the hell that got to do with anything? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. People be talking all kind of crazy. Like it's not good enough because he was a punk. Now he was crying after he fight Harrison. If he fight Harrison again, if he win that fight, everybody gonna be like, oh, he should be fighting somebody else who can beat him. But if he lose that fight, then all of a sudden it's confirmed that he can't fight. He was a fraud. He's a he a punk and he's a crybaby. I don't dig that, man. If he lose the fight, if he lose like a man, then he lost the fight. You know what I'm saying? You got to be like salute to both of the fighters. But I don't see Harrison just dominating that fight because I don't see him that he dominated the first fight. I see the first fight was close. It was a draw, but I lean towards Charlo in that fight. He was more aggressive and he landed uh, punches that was doing more damage. Yeah, Tony Harrison outboxed him a few times. So if he was going off the Olympics and he was going off the point system, I would say, yeah, Tony Harrison could have pulled it out with points. But if I'm fighting you and we fighting in the backyard, man, ain't nobody talking about no points when I done finished putting my paws on you. If I didn't hit you harder and hurt you, ain't nobody sitting there calculating no points. And Tony Harrison maybe had Charlo stumble uh, maybe one or two times in that fight. Other than that, yeah, he kept him at a distance and he kept from getting hurt, or he kept him from just completely dominating. But every time Charlo landed, you can see who was doing the damage, who was throwing the bigger punches, and who was taking the more damage. And Tony Harrison definitely was taking more damage in that fight. So we'll see what happens in that fight. I can't wait to see that fight. I think it's going to be pretty good. But I'll be honest with you, you can hate all you want, but I would think Charlo is going to win that fight if they go the distance. If they don't try to rob him, but I think he's going to come in there and he's going to handle his business. Nocturnal thoughts. I'm out.